So I went on my local Facebook group and asked if anyone could help me out with the community center's Wi-Fi password. I tagged Darby Flood, who is our mayor. Can you help me with the password to our community center's Wi-Fi? And she had a completely unprofessional response, and I stood up for myself and demanded an example of her accusation, and she deleted her comment. And then I commented this: why do you retract your response instead of providing even a single piece of evidence for your out of left field libelous accusation against me, about me? And here was her accusation that she slipped in. She has a history of trying to character assassinate people. And especially no-wingers like myself and the right-wingers in this community. I appreciate your respectful tone you have in asking me this. I am often hurt by the tone you take with me. And then she gave me a bunch of legalese BS answer to my question. And I stood up for myself and said, when are you saying I was being disrespectful to you when I've never even addressed comments towards you and only met you briefly once and was pleased to finally meet you? Give me a reference as to where I supposedly did this. I honestly can't believe you would even bring up that line of accusation for this response. It's completely unnecessary and unprofessional. Even if I had been disrespectful in some comment, it doesn't warrant you as a mayor trying to degrade my image. A homeless person in our community, and she's the mayor. I've never disrespected you, but you're on record here obviously disrespecting me and trying to negatively affect how the community views my character. And now I'm starting to see some of the many accusations against you in the recent past may have more truth to them than I was previously willing to believe. And she wasn't answering my question. Why are you retracting that? Why'd you even say that? And she ignored me for several days. And she's on every single day on Facebook. So I knew she was ignoring me. So I put some of the dirt up, like her having numerous city council, city workers quit and file complaints against her in the past. And the most recent.
Greg, Anna, Rogue River Police Chief Curtis Whipple says that there were many posts both on the mayor and the city councilor's Facebook pages disparaging law enforcement. However, he says there was one post in particular that was most dangerous and most offensive.
These politicians have, for no reason, fueled the fires of hatred toward their own police department.
A bold statement by former Talent Police Chief Curtis Whipple during a city council meeting last week. He's now calling on the mayor and a city council member to publicly apologize to their community or resign. Whipple, who is now the chief of the Rogue River Police Department, says Councilor Emily Berlant posted this to her personal Facebook, which was then liked by Talent Mayor Darby Flood.
They were not F the Minnesota Police Department where the incident occurred. They were not F the officers who stood by and watched while it occurred. They were simply F the police. This includes their own Talent Police Department.
At that same meeting, Councilor Berlant claims what Chief Whipple and others said to her was threatening.
I will not be intimidated by you, and you will not censor me.
Berlant says it was written on her personal page and taken wildly out of context. She claims people are creating a problem that doesn't exist.
I am proud to represent my community, and I will not stand down.
Chief Whipple is also standing by his response, saying this was not a personal attack against Berlant, but he wants her to know words have consequences.
Words have meaning, and they generate actions. These actions, if inspired by words from Emily Berlant and Darby Flood, have the potential for hazardous effects on good officers in their own agencies, and they must be held accountable for what they've done.
Councilor Berlant says she has since apologized via email to the current police chief of Talent. She says she will not be resigning from her position. We also reached out to the mayor and did not hear anything back.
So then, one of the mayor's mob members chimed in to defend the mayor with their leverage of having just offered to let me graze and stay the night in their yard. And I told them that I wasn't comfortable with them, the way they were treating me, throwing me under the bus like this, and that I wasn't going to be staying any longer. That's bizarre. You're not comfortable staying here, but you're here using our Wi-Fi. It was like 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night. I'm not going to leave in the middle of the night. I'm just not going to come back the next day. They're ridiculous. Here's your husband. F the white farmers. White people are the problem. Wise up. Deborah hit it nail on the head. Explain what you're talking about instead of just repeating the left-wing propaganda. Or do you always just repeat what CNN says? This Erin Michelle was one of the worst of the mayor's friends. One of the worst liars. Little did she know I still had screenshots of the original conversation proving that I said that I didn't feel comfortable and that I removed myself. She tried to make me look bad, and I just showed screenshots. And again, this Erin Michelle is trying to lie about kicking me off her property and be dishonest and try to hurt my character. So Martin Corder, the admin of the original local Facebook group, made a post about vet techs a couple days after I had completed my video about the fake vet tech in our community that ended up contributing to the death of my sheep. And after I posted my video exposing Hadassah, her friend here made an overtly positive post about her in an obvious attempt to run damage control for her. So I shared Hadassah's post here, proving that she had just gotten her first bloat tube a couple months prior to our mutual friend sending her over to help my sheep with her bloat case. In which case was the reason that she avoided the basic bloat protocol the entire time and discouraged me from inserting my own bloat tube into my sheep's throat to relieve her gas because she was insecure with her own inexperience with bloat tubing, and she came ill prepared with a bloat tube that was made for a cow and physically too large to fit down my sheep's throat. Darby chimes back in with some legal intimidation and attempts to make everyone think that my video is illegitimate and that I'm just a slanderer, which she's slandering me this entire time. Not only slandering me, but she's calling for me to be booted from our local Facebook group here. This violation? What violation? Me filming her? That's not a violation. And this is not doxing. Doxing is sharing addresses or phone numbers or personal information. I'm not sharing any personal information here. Just other examples of how she's trying to make me look bad, saying that I'm doxing. She's an extremist. The far left friend that made the post for her is friends with Mayor Darby, and you can see how it just ended up making their whole crew look bad by the way that she treated me at the end of this post. And that's probably why Darby ended up deleting her comment so that my video link would be taken out of their post.
Six months later.
So I was in my local Talent Oregon group, what I thought was the next biggest group after the mayor and her far left mob had intimidated and bullied the admin, Martin Corder, who was the admin of the largest talent group previously. They got him, pressured him into shutting it down and moving out of town. So I thought that this was the only other talent group, or the biggest one, until I started noticing that some people's posts that were sharing in this and the other smaller talent groups were coming up with this error message. This content isn't available right now. So I So I questioned this person as to what they're posting, because it had that message. Whose post are you sharing here? What's the movie, when and where? The movie is on the B City stage next to City Hall. The movie is the Mitchells vs. the Machines. Starts at 8:30. It's put on by talent artisans and growers. Oh, that sounds so cool. Thanks for letting us all know about it. Was this a talent artisans and growers post you shared here? Aaron, you're welcome. Yes. Yep, it was. What in the world is going on with the censorship in this town? First, I realized there's been a large talent Facebook group I didn't even know existed because the admins preemptively blocked me. And now this group appears to have done the same thing. The local political extremists attempts to exclude and silence people who don't agree with their narrative is horribly hypocritical to their all-inclusive lie. The talent artisan and growers market page doesn't come up when I search it, but does when I search it from my business page, meaning the admins of that group preemptively sought my profile out and then selected an option to block me before I had even been a part of the group. Sick. This is me looking up, searching for talent growers and artisans market, and it doesn't come up, but then I search under my business account and it comes up first thing. This is my alternative account. As you can see, the Real Talent Oregon comes up. Also, I didn't know that this group exists either. There's Talent News and Events. They also preemptively blocked me. So I've never been a part of any of these groups, 3 groups that the local leftist mob are running. But yeah, in the Real Talent Oregon, you can see that the admins are Charles Hall and this other lady that I don't know. So one of them preemptively went in and blocked me from even being able to know that this group even exists. Then Insider Business came out with their hit piece on me, which the reporter interviewed Mayor Darby for, but he told me she didn't actually want to be featured in the film. I don't think it's a coincidence the reporter then magically connected with one of Darby's extremist friends, and he was the only one included giving any kind of commentary about my character in the film, especially when the reporter interviewed over a dozen people who had nothing but positive things to say about me, and none of those interviews were included in the film.
He's not a very nice person. Like, he's really aggressive. He's always throwing tantrums and fits. Like, he's just aggro. I mean, I avoid him. I don't know.
Aaron used to live in Ashland, Oregon.
Business Insider was doing that.
A documentary type thing.
I pointed at you across the street and I was like, "Oh, I bet Jim would give you a good story because he was the manager of Ace. You were helping me like find the parts and even like problem solve for like a lot of things that I was trying to tinker with and invent." He interviewed over a dozen people on our day around town, and none of them probably knew me as well as you, and as long as you've known me. So he didn't include any of those because they were all positive. He didn't include any of those. Didn't even want to talk to my neighbors or my friends or anything. He ended up including one guy talking about my character and saying, "I don't like that guy," is what he says. "I don't like that guy. He's aggro. He's always throwing temper tantrums and fits." And then that's the only person that he includes on talking about my history or character or anything. Do you think that I'm always throwing temper tantrums and fits and that I'm aggro?
I've never seen you throw a fit at all. I've never seen it.
That's what I'm wanting to. That's what I'm trying to share with people.
Yeah.
And you had nothing bad to say? Of course not. I didn't think so.
It's almost like somebody said, "Hey, go get some dirt on there, and we want to make a documentary, and we want to twist it all around or something to make him." To not include any positive interviews that they did and just kind of pick that one, he really did you unjust.
We did us all unjust because I'm trying to like advocate that the people that don't like their jobs and don't believe in the system, and all that, and they want to burn the system down. No, don't burn the system down, you silly anarchist. The most anarchic, awesome thing you can do is go farm or farmhand. If you don't have enough, I'm telling people, if you don't have plenty of money to buy your own land and endure like some kind of economic collapse, go the farm handing route and try to get multiple farms so that you can have diversity of food.
Sure.